And we're live. What's up, guys? It's day number 16, end of day 16, and today was a massive day. We did 145 miles, and we're now in Mitchell. We've caught up, come on, and we've hit halfway, 1,500 miles down. We're actually now more at like 1,635. Around that, probably a little bit more to be honest, but also a couple of things that we forgot to say yesterday in our hurry. One, got another bee stink to add to our collection, which I got at lunch, which was an unwelcome surprise. And also we saw a load of buffalo at Buffalo Gap with this huge herd, which was awesome. That was like, they were about a mile or two away though, so it didn't come out very well on the camera. But that was pretty cool. And also just like to convey, like I'm buzzing now because I just want to like get it all out there. But yesterday we were so shot, so dehydrated beyond reason, despite the amount of water we consumed. Like energy was spent by the end, and obviously it was dark and we were shattered, and we literally fell asleep practically in front of the camera. And also one last thing. Dad, you would have loved the vastness of it. It's not quite as vast as as Death Valley, but the Badlands was pretty cool as well. So I thought I'd give a little mention to you. And on to today. So where you left off, which was sound asleep at the motel at about 11 o'clock or something. So no.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty late by the time
had changed. So.
Yeah. And by the time we got to sleep, it was pretty late. And we woke up at 6:30, and we spent a little while just laying there, kind of sorting out stuff, because we had a load of because we've had such big days back to back. Like we've had huge 150 mile days and like 100 plus mile days practically every day for since Livingston. We had a load of admin to sort out, load of warm shower hosts to contact and get in touch with, and we feel so bad because we haven't written any reviews yet, or we've been nearly on the ball as we should have been. And Dave was saying today he was staying with, one thing he looks for is people who write reviews, who take the time to do that. We just haven't had the time, so we will do that, but
tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow, right? Tomorrow we only have 70 miles, so 74, but we should be able to have some time to do that. But yeah, anyway, so we spent a little while just like organising all that admin on our phones. Woke up, so got up around 7, out the door for 7:30. Slight panic when I couldn't find my key, but found it had just fallen out of my pocket in bed. So found it under the sheets and managed to check out, and that was all pretty rapid. And we got to Subway for breakfast, where we had each had a foot long. Again, had that steak, egg and bacon. No, steak, egg and cheese, but they didn't have eggs, so we had bacon instead. And they tried to charge you $11 for that, which was ridiculous, because the steak and cheese is $8.70, which is obscene for a foot long, but then they have steak, egg and cheese as a breakfast option for $6.70, which is entirely messed up. But anyway, had that was delicious, really fueled us up. And the amount of calories in those fast food places, because we had McDonald's as well, and I hardly ate all day. Like until right at the end.
Yes,
yeah, when I was really scared about bonking again. That kept us fueled up and ready to go. And we did about 45 miles in our first stint. We got to Kennebec, which is just before Reliance, and so we stormed that in about 2.5 hours or just over. So we were going at a really rapid pace, like almost 20 miles an hour averaging, and we had a bit of a tailwind and a bit of downhill as well. So we were flying. Well, we say downhill. It's so up and down on these roads. It doesn't feel like it at all. But we reached there within. We left Subway at about 8, like just gone 8, 5 past, 10 past. Arrived at this service station at about 11:45, so 10:45. and refilled our water bottles because obviously it's so hot even at that time in the morning, and got on our way again. You had half your Subway, which you didn't eat last night, and I had some bars, and off we went again. I should say as well, I finished Sherlock, which was devastating. All 70 something hours of it. I have to admit, I didn't concentrate for all of it. I love Sherlock, and I concentrated for the bigger, more like the Study in Scarlet and the Sign of Four and like all the exciting ones. But once there's like the 10th murder mystery, where you don't really know, it's not like who's done it, because they don't give you all the facts at the beginning. They just say Sherlock suddenly comes up with all these brilliant analysis at the end, and that's that. So my concentration waded in and out, and I then started No Hero by Mark Owen, which is amazing, really cool Navy SEAL guy, but it's really short. But anyway, not talking about audio. That was really entertaining though for the rest of the day, and we carried on, and on the highway, you spotted.
Oh, the wolf.
Yeah,
that's quite cool. Yeah, I'll go into that. Cycling along up a sort of slow hill, and then something went across, and Sam was in his own world with Sherlock, whatever at the time. I thought it was a dog, and then I thought for a second, is it a wolf? And I thought, no, it can't be a wolf. Is it a deer? And then we got up, and it had gone off the track, and we checked, and it was a wolf, which was quite cool.
Yeah.
But fortunately, as they always tell you, it was more scared of us than we were of it.
Oh, I'm not sure about that.
It went off fairly quickly.
Yeah.
But that was really cool. So we've seen a bear and a wolf, which are probably the two big animals in the States.
Yeah, and it was huge and grey, and it kind of looked curious, and we were quite worried it would, like, because it kind of turned around. It didn't run off like a fox. It wasn't like speeding away. It just kind of checked us out, trotted off a little bit, turned around, checked again, and we were like, oh, is it going to make? Because I was preparing to go back down the hill that we'd come down and sprint in the other direction. And I was like, what if it attacks us? I was like, my penknife is in my saddlebag. Got no protection. But yeah, anyway, it trotted off, and that was thrilling. We carried on along this downhill all the way to Chamberlain. We had to hop onto the I-90 for a bit, which was a bit grim because there's a load of construction. The only section we had to hop on for like 8 or 9 miles, and it was all construction, so all single lane, and we actually had to go onto the opposite lane with oncoming traffic because the hard shoulder was cyclable there, whereas the other one didn't really have any hard shoulder at all. So we're going down this single lane, and the other side didn't really have much construction going on at all, which was really annoying. We probably could have stuck on that, but we played it safe relatively, and then we hopped back off onto Oakama Chamberlain, went across the bridge, didn't go on the I-90 bridge because that was too scary, but we did go on a highway bridge, which we thought was the Mississippi River because it was so humid, and we were told that the Mississippi was in like 200 miles or something, but it wasn't. It was the Missouri River, and the Missouri River does join up with the Mississippi in the state of Missouri. Or is it Mississippi? Missouri. And they, which is a few hundred miles downstream, so we're not sure we're going to cross that at all. But it was pretty cool. It was huge as well because of the floodwaters, absolutely like gigantic in scale across. And so we went over this old, like the oldest bridge crossing this Missouri at Chamberlain, which was cool. And there was no hard shoulder, so we waited until there was a gap in the car. Then we sprinted as fast as we could across this like mile-long bridge, and that was exciting. And at which point we decided we stopped for lunch. And we passed the 1500 mark like 10 miles in. So that was like at the start of the day. I was just after the day before. And knowing we had to do the same distance again, I was so like just knackered and I had no like energy or motivation. I just knew it was going to take about like 12 hours or so of just solid cycling, and that gave me a little buzz to get me through to lunch. Then we had McDonald's, which was awesome. I had like 4 McChickens again, a triple cheeseburger, and like 3 cookies, and a huge, like ridiculously huge thing of soft drinks. And you had
Big Mac and nuggets.
Yeah. And we tried to watch Lucifer, but my phone struggled to connect to the Wi-Fi, so we couldn't do that, which is annoying because my 4G is like English 4G in America for some reason, so we've only got season 4 of this particular show when we want to watch season 1. And yeah, again, huge amount of calories in that meal, and set off again and it climbed. It said it was 300 uphill,
Yeah.
700 down,
Yeah.
or something like that, and it felt like we did like double that uphill just in
get
the
out the
first few
chamber,
miles. Yeah, because we had to come up out of the river, out of the valley. It was a gigantic climb, but anyway, we hit the highway, carried along that for a while. Oh, and we also, a while ago, we saw pelicans, which was really cool, with like their big orange beaks and white feathers, and there was a huge flock of them that all like swarmed about us when we were, or swarmed behind us when we passed them. So yeah, another wildlife sighting of the day, and it's so annoying because I would have titled this "Wolf on the Highway" in big capital letters if it was any other day, but we're gonna have to title it. We're halfway there,
And we've also caught up today,
and
which is
yeah,
also really big.
yeah, and so we've done that big 150 day, and tomorrow we have that half day, which
And
is
it's great
glorious.
because we saved not having anyone to St Chamberlain.
Yeah,
So thank
yeah.
you actually, Daddy, for that. That was good advice.
Mm-hmm. And we stayed with Dave tonight, who's just been amazing. Really, really cool. But anyway, we're racing along this highway, again going at quite a sharp speed, but we were there wasn't much wind in the air at all, but it was so noticeable that we weren't like, our final destination was lower than where we were at that moment, than where we started. So it was overall downhill despite all the ups and downs. And like with a slight tailwind, if anything, just not having a headwind, to be honest, made such a big difference. And we cruised along at over 15 miles an hour. And despite the fact this highway was awful, it was like just slabs of concrete, just put down and put down and put down. So every 5 feet, you were like absolutely jolted out of your seat by the rivets in the road. And then sometimes they tried to pave over these rivets with tarmac, which were even bigger bumps. So like my water bottles were practically flying out of their holders. But anyway, we carried along. We stopped in Whitefall and for a quick refill of the water bottles again, and 5 minutes just to like reapply sun cream and chill out and have a Pop-Tart, get some calories back on board before making our final push. Yeah, so the stop for lunch was at about 12:45, and then we left there about 35 minutes later at about 1:20. Went to Whitefall for 36 miles, so slightly about 3:45, and then ended up leaving there about 4, just gone 4, and so we had 36 miles left to go. And we went to
Damn cat. Must have come in when the doors were all open.
This is
Is that not yours? I thought it was your cat.
Yeah, same.
All of a sudden I heard it.
That was our lovely host Dave for the night. Anyway, yeah, we ended up arriving here along this awful highway, trying to navigate through these awful gravel roads again, but we did it, and we stayed on the concrete, and we got here for about 6:20.
Okay, little pussy cat, I'll get in my bedroom.
Brilliant. So we have our first host feature in our vlog. David's been wonderful, and we will get a review to you, we promise. And we arrived here for about 6:20, and considering we set off at about 8:10, that was literally just over 10 hours for 148 miles, was it, in the end? Yeah, which is a huge day, and considering it took us 12 hours and something yesterday.
Yeah.
That's a massive difference, and the crazy speed for considering how tired we were. And we got here, and Dave was here and showed us to the shower, which was delightful. So we changed, refreshed, washed our clothes, which was amazing, and had dinner, had snacks out, load of chips, loads of Baby Bells, and brought some friends over of his who lived in the building. So we had this wonderful meal with about 5 of us, and it was pulled pork and coleslaw and corn on the cob, and really, really delicious. Oh, and a load of potatoes as well. And it really reminded me of home because it was something to have pulled pork in those bats, and I was like, oh, we're so close now. And yeah, that was a lot of fun. Cracked open the beers, had a cool beer opener, which you kind of like push down on, which absolutely baffled me. And yeah, that was about it. Then his two friends left, and we went and chilled in the hot tub, which we were we read a Warm Showers review which said that that it was very much a clothing optional household, and indeed it was. We went out in trunks nonetheless, and chilled in the hot tub. It was wonderful, like wonderful evening. It was about 10 when we went out there, just gone 10, and there was lightning in the distance as well.
Which is where we're going tomorrow.
Yeah, which is a bit. So all these thunderstorms are really like real and really close, and seem to be following us a little bit, which is a bit scary. But hopefully we'll avoid them tomorrow. And yeah, so tomorrow we're doing 70 miles into Sioux Falls, which is just on the border of Minnesota, which is so frustrating because it's like it'd be really cool to do as many states as possible, but it's like 30 miles away, so it's a really awkward distance, and we probably skip it out. But we came close to Minnesota, and yeah, they've got some cool waterfalls going on there. It should be a half day, so it should only be about 5 hours to do 70 miles. But we're not sure because this guy finishes work late at about 5, and so he probably won't be around to let us in or anything. So we might have a bit of a chilled morning tomorrow, and end up just arriving there for 5, and as opposed to kind of setting off at a usual time and arriving there for what would be probably 12. But we'll see what he says. If he doesn't reply, then we'll just have a leisurely morning, which would be quite nice, not to have to rush off for a change, and get there again in good time, and hopefully have time to finally upload the GoPro footage.
You keep saying.
Keep saying.
Yeah, maybe.
And
if not before, definitely in Chicago.
Yeah, and possibly try and repair some inner shoes, because my sponge bag is now not filled with my toothbrush and toothpaste, but with a load of inner shoes which are punctured, so might have a chance to repair them. And yeah, that's about it. Nothing more to report for today. Yeah, we're really desperate to get to bed. It's 10:50. Another long day. But yeah, we'll see you tomorrow, where we'll be one day away from our next state of Iowa.
Yeah. Exciting times.